What's up, everybody? It's Critical, and you're getting fucked. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. You might be watching this video and think you're a virgin, but I promise you, you're not. You have been, and are still currently, getting fucked by college textbook prices. Some of you may not be in college yet, or decided not to go to college. Doesn't matter, you are still getting the cock and cooter or keister treatment by college textbook prices. Now, I'd really like to go in depth on this college textbook pricing scam. Now, I'm a recent graduate. I graduated less than a month ago, actually. And the whole time, I wanted to talk about this, but I just couldn't find the right words. And now that I've graduated and matured a bit, I have found them. College textbooks can gobble my fucking scrotum. They can take all of my nuts right in their mouth. It's absolutely fucking absurd. Now, I've done a ton of research on this throughout the 4 years I was there, and I think I've kind of compiled a lot of information here that I'd like to share with all of you and talk about. Let's turn our attention to Figure 1. This is from Mark Perry of the American Enterprise Institute. He looked at the price of various things from 1978 to 2013, one of them being the price of college textbooks, and he found an increase in college textbook price of 812%. That is absurd. That is absolutely ridiculous. So how can they get away with charging so much for college textbooks and constantly raising the prices of them? They do it in a multitude of different ways, one of them being that they'll bundle the textbook with a lot of shit you don't need, like a CD that no one uses, a strategy guide no one uses, a study guide that you can only wipe your ass with. Sometimes they'll give you a condom so that way you can put it on the textbook when it's fucking you in the asshole. And you can't just get the textbook without getting all these extra accessories. It just doesn't work like that. Now, speaking economically, what you would expect to happen with all these price raises is people would stop buying the textbook because it's too expensive. It doesn't make sense to keep spending all of this money on the textbooks. But the problem is, in a sense, it's an inelastic good, meaning you have to have that textbook for the class. For instance, my university, the University of Tampa, required every class to have a mandatory textbook, and it had to be the latest edition. You couldn't use older editions for whatever reason. I'll get into that in a minute. But my point is here that you are a hostage to the curriculum, the syllabus. You have to have what they tell you you need, and you have to pay for it. It doesn't matter the price. You need it, so you're going to have to buy it. So they don't have to worry about losing customers because you need the textbook. Now, that's not an absolute. You can get by without getting the textbook. For instance, I went through the sophomore year to my senior year of college without ever buying or renting a textbook. I did in my freshman year because I just didn't understand that it was a huge scam, so fell victim to that and lost like $1,000. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the estimated cost for a college student per semester on textbooks is anywhere from $655 to $700 on top of the tuitions. That's a lot of extra money for absolutely no reason. Now, I know I'm kind of jumbling all my points here because there's just a lot I want to say, and I'm just kind of verbally shitting it all out at once. But the next thing I really want to talk about is the editions. They make you get the newest editions and won't let you use older ones, effectively destroying the used book market because it would have been cheaper to get an older edition. But my university, for instance, wouldn't let you do that. You needed the most up-to-date version, which cost more. And if you got it from the bookstore, you were just putting a fist in your anus because they jacked that shit up so much more than anything else. And the reason for that is because a portion of textbook profits that are sold in a university store go right to the university, so they get a larger cut if they sell it from their store, which is why it's a lot more expensive. But let me go back to the editions thing. Last semester, for my kinesiology class, I needed the 19th edition of this book right here. But like I said, I kind of got by without textbooks, but I wanted to see something. So I went online and I found the 18th edition completely for free, and I decided to scrub through it and compare the two editions. And I found that there is so minimal differences between the two editions. The only difference I could even spot were a few chapters were a little out of order. They were ordered a little bit differently, but that's it. There was no new information, there was no big revisions, nothing at all. So you would pay $100 more just to get the same fucking shit slapped in your face for no reason. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And according to a lot of other people who study this, the frequent edition updating is absolutely unnecessary because year by year there's not any huge breakthroughs every single year. So what's the point in going back and trying to reorder it to sell it for more? It's just to make more money off it and to keep profits flowing. And that's not some big conspiracy bullshit. That's actually what it's for. They keep revising this because you're going to keep buying the newest edition for more money for no reason. And they know that, so they can do that. They can get away with that. Now, another thing you'd expect from an economical standpoint is that competition would make it impossible for them to keep succeeding and thriving in this industry, especially since it rakes in $14 billion annually. So you would think some other people would try and get in on that profit, but the problem is there's only 5 corporations that control the majority of college textbooks: Reed Elsevier, Taylor and Francis, Wiley Blackwell, Springer, and Sage. Those are the only 5 real players in this industry. So these nippleless troglodytes can do whatever the fuck they want and not have to worry about profits. They could start selling you sandpaper fleshlights and put it as part of the university's curriculum, and you would still be buying that for $300 a pop. Now let's look at how they get so rich off of these textbooks. So, of every dollar spent on textbooks, 77 cents goes right to the publishers, the rest goes to the university that sold it. Now, of the 77 cents, 18 cents is pure profit for the publishers, whereas the author of the textbook gets 12 cents. Now, and then the rest of that is just on the marketing and the cost to actually put it all together, such as paper and shit. So that's a lot of profit. That's on every dollar. Those textbooks are hundreds of dollars. That is a lot of pure profit right there. Now, I know a lot of you who are in college right now probably use things like Chegg or get it on Amazon because it's cheaper. Well, yeah, it is cheaper, but it's still a lot more expensive than it should be, no matter where you get it from. And plus, not everyone's doing that. Some people do go to the university bookstore because it's more convenient and it's just easier that way. And some universities require you to buy a specific edition for that university. That's right. Some textbooks actually have custom editions for the university, so that destroys its resellability. So you're stuck with that shit for life. And it also just makes it so you can't get it anywhere else except from the university. Now let's think about this logically. How can there logically be a custom edition made for the University of Tampa, let's say? I don't think UT has any specific editions, but for the sake of this example, let's say they do. Let's say kinesiology has a specific UT edition. How is that okay? Let's say the editions really are necessary, and maybe my experience was just an anomaly and that the editions really are totally different from one another. How can there be a custom edition where you can only get that information if you go to that university? Do they just withhold it from all the other editions of that same textbooks for the other universities? That's okay? That's all right? That's ethical? That's just fucked up. That is absolutely fucked up. That just proves that the editions are a huge scam. That it's unnecessary. You can make a custom edition? No, absolutely not. There would be an outrage in the scientific community. Oh, I didn't go to UT, so I didn't know that the cock can sometimes go inside of the tits. No, it just doesn't work that way. You can't just hold information out on a fucking professional textbook. So it's just demonstrating. It's them saying, ha, we're laughing in your face. We made this custom edition just to make more money off of it. That's what it is. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. There's nothing anyone can do about it. I know I can't do anything about it. I just can't march over to, let's say, Wiley Blackwell's headquarters and just start jerking off. It's not going to solve anything. Talking about it's not going to solve anything. I just wanted to get it out there because I've had it on my mind for 4 years and I have wanted to talk about it, and now I just decided to talk about it. So if you or someone you know has been affected by college textbook price fucking, then I'm sorry for you, and I really wish there was some way to fix that. I think the best solution is to not buy textbooks from the university. Definitely do not buy from the university. Try and get whatever edition is the cheapest because they are extremely similar. Even if the professor says that you need the newest one, just tell them to go eat some anus because you don't, and you'll be fine with an older edition. And in my case, I did get docked a lot of points for not having the textbooks, but I just decided to take that hit because I would rather have my grades a little lower than they could be just because I didn't fall for this scam. I was more okay with that than spending all this extra money on something I didn't need. But obviously not everyone's going to want to do something like that. So just get whatever's cheapest. If you have to get the newest edition, just don't go to the university. So yeah, that's about it. And to all the douche balloons at the publishing companies, I hope you all live in luxurious houses, massive houses, with everything you ever wanted with all that money you extorted from college students. And I hope that every night you toss and turn, wondering to yourself why you still feel so hollow and unfulfilled, and you sit there teary-eyed reflecting on the marriage that you've created that's falling apart. Your kids don't respect you, they don't love you, they're embarrassed to say what their parents do for a living when they're asked by their peers or their teachers, and this empire of anus that you've created has led you down this path where you have all of this money but no happiness. So yeah, that's about it. Fuck you at the publisher companies, and yeah, see ya.